In the spirit of Thanksgiving, you might be thinking about the things for which you're grateful, and how your money's invested is probably not one of those. But as you'll see in a moment, it probably should be. Stay tuned to this week's episode of the Retirement Income Source, because it's all about your income.
Welcome to the Retirement Income Source, where it's all about your income. I'm Sarah Samuels here with David Scranton. And David, it's great to be here with you. I know that you just got back from a trip down to Key Largo, Florida, down at a resort that we've been to a few times for conferences.
Yeah, just for our long weekend, right? We've hosted our conference there probably over the last 15, 20 years, probably a half dozen times. And, it got me thinking, because down there this time of year, most of the folks are there are a lot of the older folks that might be in their 70s or 80s. And, I'm watching the things for which they're grateful and kind of how they spend their money. And it got me thinking, it's a good topic for today's show.
Oh, I think so. It's absolutely a great topic. And I even used AI to help us come up with the 10 things that people age 60 and over are most grateful for. So coming in, the first thing that we have on this list, which is huge, is good health.
Right, and that's what actually started this whole thing off, Sarah. It's funny, but, I was going to the gym because I like to do that. A couple times I was there, and it was funny. There were a lot of folks that were much, much older than me, and I'm 60, and they all had personal trainers. And I thought about it. We always talk about investing for income, and I know people probably get tired of hearing us sometimes. Gee, we make it sound like income's the answer for cancer, But I think for some of these folks, it truly is. I think in their minds, having enough income, enough cash flow to be able to hire that personal trainer to be in good health is a big deal.
Yep. And one of the things about good health is that it's important for listeners of all ages, for everyone, to stay in good health, to stay immobile, even for young women to lift weights, to do things like that. I was talking a little bit before the show about how it doesn't matter your body type. If you're not building muscle the right way, if you're not maintaining good health, you can end up with pre-diabetes even at a young age.
Oh, you could, absolutely. And I think it changes. The motive for staying in good health changes as you get older. When it's younger, it might be running around with my children or something. But as you get older, it's also about independence. It's about not, if you need home health care, having the cash flow to be able to even have that home health care coming in. Take care of yourself in any way. Postpone the need for that home health care, convalescent care as long as you can. So number one's health. But number two, what's number two?
Number two, also very important here, something to be grateful for, and that's family.
Yeah. And again, that goes to the income message, right? Because you need income to be able to do the things you need to keep yourself healthy, right? Even if it's a massage here and there or a personal trainer or whatever. But, when it comes to family, usually you want to spend time together. In today's world, Sarah, people don't necessarily, it's not like the Waltons anymore, right? Or Little House on the Prairie, everybody lives together. It's not like that anymore. People need to travel. In order to travel, to spend time with family, you need to have income. Everything comes out of income, right? Think about it. If you have a gym membership, do you take it out of your savings account, or you pay for it out of income?
No, you want to pay for that out of income.
Right. You take your family out to dinner or on a trip or something. Do you take it out of your savings account, or you pay for it out of income?
Nope, it should all come out of income.
Right. So right then and there, the first two things really are helped along significantly by having enough income in retirement.
Yep. And I don't think people realize enough how having that income and having that income stream really in retirement that you can rely on, not only is it something that can fund all of those expenses in retirement, but you also get more of that peace of mind. So we put together a white paper for all of our loyal listeners. This white paper is the 7 retirement risks, and you can get it. You can download it by going to our website. That's incomeradio.com, and download this white paper so you can fully understand all of the risks to retirement. I'm Sarah Samuels here with David Scranton. You're listening to the Retirement Income Source, where it is all about your income. And today we're talking about things that we have to be grateful for. So if you want to tell us something you're grateful for, we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
You can either reach out on our website or give us a call on our phone line. That's 833-RIS Radio, 833-747-7234. And so the top 10 things that people age 60 and over are grateful for. We've talked about health. We've talked about family. And Dave, number 3, I think also folds into family and is another thing that it's important to have income to pay for, and that's friendships.
Yeah, especially, real friendships, not so much acquaintances, but real friendships. And again, the same is true. It's if you don't have the income to spend time with good friends. And it takes whatever, even if you're going to have people over for dinner and make dinner for them at your house. Well, guess what? It takes income to go out and buy all those extra groceries, or to buy a nice bottle of wine, or even more if you're going out to a restaurant or you're traveling to see someone. So, we don't think of friendships being tied to money per se, and we don't think of family being tied to money, but it is tied to the income portion of money because, again, when you go out to dinner with friends right now, do you take it out of your savings account? Do you take it out of your income?
No, take it out of income.
Right. It doesn't change in retirement. It shouldn't change in retirement, just like the folks I saw in the gym. And I think they're doing a lot. I think some of those folks are, number one, they're trying to stay healthy, so they're paying for the gym membership out of income. They're paying for the personal trainer out of income. And also, they have friends that they made there because they work out every single morning together.
Absolutely.
And I heard some of them making plans to go out to dinner at night together, right? So again, it's all one big circle. And, I think we underestimate sometimes how important income is in being able to do these things that people want to do, not just in their younger years, but also in their retirement.
Yep, it gives you that time and space and that ability to really enjoy retirement. It actually reminds me of a story I heard. One of my friends was telling me about their grandmother who had been in a rehab facility for about 10 months or so, and she came out of the facility, been out for a few weeks, and she was telling their mom, that was her daughter, saying, hey, I want to find a home, I want to find a community, I want to find a place where there are other people my age, so I have that community. She actually missed having the built-in social structure where there's events for you to go to, there's other people that are all around you, so you can make friends, and it gives you that network, versus if you're just staying at home, if you're not able to go out and do things, then it could be very
and generally
isolating.
It costs more to live in those types of communities, and a lot of that is just extra fees that you pay to be part of the association, to be part of the clubhouse. So again, it goes to not so much money, but it goes to the income side of it, having that social aspect of your life. 100%.
Yep. Number 4 on our list here, so we've covered good health. Number 1, family, friendships. The fourth thing that people are grateful for on our list is financial stability. And that's a huge one. Again, we're talking about how income can help you lead more stress-free life in retirement and actually enjoy that retirement.
Well, especially if you have true income, like we always talk about on this show, where if you're not trying to engineer income by taking withdrawals from your retirement accounts and then hoping that it grows back, because we always say, like, hope's not a retirement strategy,
it's not
right?
a good one. Don't rely on that.
If you're getting the real renewable resource of income, of interest and dividends, just like you would rental income if you owned a rental property, that is really true peace of mind, true financial stability, because our good friend Greg from Tulsa, who's a financial advisor, always says the definition financially of a perfect retirement is having more income than you need every single day for the rest of your life.
Absolutely. Well, that's one of the most important benefits of using an income first, growth second strategy in retirement. And looking at our list here, we've talked about 4 of them so far. 4 things that people are grateful for: 60 years and older, good health, family, friendships, financial stability, and the 5th one is a big one. This is free time.
Free time. And free time is, when you're retired and you feel like you don't have to go to work part-time, or maybe, you can retire earlier or partially retire earlier to have some free time. Or maybe you're so busy taking care of the house, you want extra income so you can hire a cleaning person to come clean your house, or somebody come and mow the lawn for you, right? Okay. Those are other examples of how to have more free time even in retirement. And that kind of goes hand in hand, I believe, with number 4, financial stability.
Yep, financial stability and free time are really both tied to income, because that income first strategy gives you the financial stability and it also gives you that income. So
that's right.
We're going to talk a little bit more about how income can help you understand how it pays for the things that you're grateful for. And the 6th thing on our list might actually surprise our listeners. So we're going to cover that. I'm Sarah Samuels here with David Scranton, and you're listening to The Retirement Income Source, where it's all about your income. Thank you for spending some time here with us this weekend on the Retirement Income Source, where it's all about your income. I'm Sarah Samuels here with David Scranton, and we really do have a lot to be grateful for, even if sometimes it feels like there's so much hustle and bustle, it's hard to remember the things that you're grateful for. And today we're talking about the top 10 things that people age 60 and over are most grateful for in honor of Thanksgiving. So let's talk about the first 5 things here. So good health, we have family, we also have friendships, financial stability, and free time. So Dave, let's talk a little bit about how income or using an income first retirement strategy really helps you achieve all of these things.
And they all go hand in hand, which is the interesting thing. So if you want to have free time, you have to have financial stability to have free time, because if you don't have that sense of financial stability, you're going to want to work longer or work part-time longer in retirement, or do all the household chores yourself and not hire anybody. So you're not going to have the free time. So financial stability and free time go hand in hand. But financial stability also goes hand in hand with health, like we said before, right? Can you afford the gym membership at a better place? Can you afford to get a massage every once in a while? The great health effects with massages.
Great. I love massages. I'm a big proponent of those. I think everyone should get more of them.
Or if you believe in chiropractic, right, to stay nimble. Well, most insurance plans only pay for a certain amount of that, and it's on you, right? So again, if you have the financial stability, the income, you can do those things to get more, take care of your health better. And families and relationships, again, it's all about quality time together. But unless you're going to sit there and just stare at each other, right?
Or stare at your phones, even better.
That's right. There's going to be things that cost money. It's I'm hooking up later today with an old friend of mine, and we're having dinner. Well, that costs money just to buy the food for that. So, it all goes hand in hand. But you teased up right before the break the sixth one. So
the sixth thing.
Let's hear it.
We've talked about all the things that money can potentially buy, right? It can buy you better gym memberships and get you better, maybe even better doctors for your health, and time with family and friends, free time and financial stability. But can it actually buy you confidence? That is the sixth thing on our list that people are grateful for, and that is confidence.
See, here you have to know. So I give ChatGPT some credit here, because it was, when most people hear income, they don't differentiate between real income, interest and dividends, this renewable resource, much like a rental income we talk about, versus just taking withdrawals and hoping that it comes back. And the reality is the confidence comes from, the former scenario, the scenario where you're getting real income as a renewable resource that comes each and every year. I believe you never have the confidence if you're taking a withdrawal from principal and you hope it comes back, because you don't really know till December 31st if this year the market's going to go up or down.
Yep.
And that's where that renewable source of income is really the base of everything. And it's like the first domino that starts to knock down the rest of these dominoes we're talking about today.
Yep. And there's been a lot of times in the past when we've seen that the market dropped, it didn't recover for over 13 years in 2012. So if you just unlucky, you had bad timing and you retired at that time and you had a really growth-focused strategy, you didn't make any money. In fact, you lost a lot of money over that time period.
That's right. Because, again, you didn't have that renewable resource. And you just hoped it would grow back, and most of the time it does. But guess what? You had 12 years in a row, 13 years in a row where it didn't. And that affects your retirement, not just what you can do in these top 10 things, but also affects your psyche. Can you even enjoy your money in retirement? You may have more than enough money, but are you really going to enjoy it when you're waiting on the market to come back and it takes 12, 13 years before it does?
Yep. And for most people, understanding all the different risks can help them enjoy their retirement, because you don't feel like anything's going to surprise you or sneak up on you. So that's why we put together a white paper specifically for our retirement income source listeners. It's all about the 7 risks to your retirement, so you can stay aware and stay prepared. So all you have to do to get this free white paper is go to our website. That's incomeradio.com, and you can download it for free. Thank you for listening to the Retirement Income Source, where it's all about your income. I'm Sarah Samuels, here with David Scranton, and we're talking about the top 10 things that people are grateful for, people that are 60 years of age and older. We did use AI to help us with this list, but I think it's a pretty good list so far, so we'll run through them. So number 1, good health. Number 2, family. Number 3, friendships. Number 4, financial stability. Number 5, free time. Number 6, confidence. And number 7 on our list here, which is, we've talked about this a little bit, Dave, but number 7 is experiences. People are grateful for the experiences they get to have.
Yeah, and it's interesting, in your younger years, it's more about things. You want a bigger house, you want a nicer car, and those are things that don't necessarily come out of income. And you could say, well, yeah, I take that out of savings to buy a car, right? Now, unfortunately, a lot of the younger people borrow money. It ends up coming out of income anyway, even though it probably is better suited coming out of savings. But as you get older, it's more about experiences. And experiences typically don't come out of savings. They typically come out of income. So, in fact, you're much less likely psychologically to spend money on a new experience, no matter how important they are to you, if you know you have to take it out of savings. But if you know that it's coming out of income because you have surplus income in retirement, well, that makes it a lot easier to make that decision to enjoy that experience.
Yep. Income gives you that freedom to be able to fully enjoy the experience, knowing that you're not dipping into your savings or withdrawing from your principal. You're truly generating income, just like a paycheck, replacing that paycheck that you lost when you retired. So experiences comes in at number 7 on our list, and I feel like number 8 it wraps right into experiences, and number 8 is travel.
Yeah, and travel, and that's why people like to travel. They want
People
the
love
experience.
traveling,
All the places that you didn't have time to go because you had only so many weeks off a year from work, now you get to travel, you get to experience it. So yeah, you're right. I don't think we need to talk about that when the reality is when you talk about experiences in general, for many, that is travel. Everybody who comes in to see us, first thing they say, well, what do you want to do in retirement? Well, we want to travel more. And that's always the first few years they want to travel.
Yeah.
And then they get that out of their system, and then, it's on to, other things.
Maybe they just want to travel to see family or see grandkids as opposed to traveling for the experience.
That's right.
Going to new countries, things like that.
But again, when you travel, you don't take it out of savings. Usually it comes out of cash flow.
No, it should come out of income, because honestly, if you have to dip into your savings, maybe even before this is probably great retirement advice too, but even before retirement years, I feel like if you have to dip into your savings, or if you have to put a lot of this on the credit card to afford it, you probably shouldn't be engaging in that experience, right? Maybe you can't afford it. So, all right. So we've talked about the 10 different experiences so far: good health, family, friendships, financial stability, free time, confidence, experiences, travel, and number 9 on our list, which is extremely important here, is sense of purpose.
So sense of purpose is really the same as having free time. It's having free time, but with knowing what's going to make you feel fulfilled at the end of the day. If you don't have the free time because you're busy working part-time in retirement, and then you're cleaning the house, or then you're mowing the lawn, then you can't do the things that give you purpose. So you need free time to have sense of purpose. And again, the key to having free time is having confidence. And how do you have confidence? Well, that renewable resource of income. So it's funny how all these wrap together.
They really do wrap together. And I think it just goes to show that when you're moving towards something, when you want to do something in retirement, right? Because maybe you want to have a part-time job because you enjoy the community, not because you have to. When you're forced into situations, that's when you have to sometimes make bad decisions, even have to go back to work, do things that we don't want anyone to have to do in retirement.
That's right.
So when you rely on an income first strategy, you don't have to worry as much about those things. You know that you're getting that income each month.
Right. Drum roll. Number 10.
Number
The
10
grand
on
finale.
our list here, the grand finale here, is simplicity and peace of mind.
Yeah, and simplicity and peace of mind go hand in hand. When you're younger, you complicate your life. You may have more things than you need, and then as you get older, you want to simplify because you want peace of mind. So simplifying is one way to get peace of mind. The other way to get peace of mind is, again, as our friend Greg says, that you have more income every single day in retirement than you need for the rest of your life. That gives you peace of mind to know that you can spend what you have with a clear conscience and not have to be stressed about running out, because it's coming from the renewable resource. It's not coming out of savings.
Absolutely. And another way that our listeners can get some peace of mind is by calling in with your Ask Dave questions we can answer on the show. That phone number is 833-RIS-RADIO. That's 833-747-7234. We're going to answer some of your retirement questions. I'm Sarah Samuels here with David Scranton, and you've been listening to the Retirement Income Source, where it's all about your income. Thank you for spending some time here with us this weekend on the Retirement Income Source, where it's all about your income. I'm Sarah Samuels here with David Scranton, and there is a lot to be thankful for in life. Today, we've been counting down the 10 things that most people 60 years and older are most grateful for in life. So, Dave, we talked about health was one of them, family, friendships, financial stability, free time, as well as travel, experiences. A sense of purpose was another big thing. And then simplicity and peace of mind. And those 10 things, I think, are all really they're all really synced in with each other, because they all have to do with income, and you really need income to be able to participate in a lot of those things. You do, and the differentiation we always make on the show is real income versus engineered income, contrived income, because most financial advisors try to contrive income. They engineer it by taking withdrawals from an account and crossing their fingers and toes and hoping that it grows back the next year. Well, we don't need to tell our listeners that hope is not a financial strategy if you're retired. So we're talking about real income, the renewable resource. Think about it. If you
if you had real estate and you had to count on that real estate going up in value every year, so you can spend money, you can sell a unit of a property or just borrow against it to spend your money in retirement, that'd be stressful because real estate values don't go up each and every year. Some years they go down. But if you had rental income with a creditworthy tenant, you knew each and every year that rental income was going to come in. Now you can spend that money with peace of mind, knowing that there's going to be more of it next year, more income next year.
It's funny you mentioned rental income properties. Our first question for our Ask Dave segment has to do with that. So our first question comes from David F. Out of Fall River area, Massachusetts. David says, I sold my rental income properties, but I still want income. Where should I invest? I don't feel safe in stocks.
Well, David, you're not alone. A lot of people get nervous in stocks, especially, as they get into retirement. You have enough to retire, but if something goes sideways, well, that's, will you still be able to retire or stay retired? Who knows? So I can answer your question, though, David. Before I do, though, there's one way to do it in the stock market if you're interested, and that is through higher dividend stocks. If you deal with blue chip, higher dividend stocks, where you're just living off the dividends and you're not counting on growth, then for many people, they're less concerned if the stock market goes down because the dividends with most healthy companies stay the same, and frankly, over time, they go up. So the income they're getting that they're living on in retirement isn't affected just because the price of a stock goes down. So as an aside, you certainly can still stay in the game if you want in the stock market, but just focusing on higher dividend stocks that you don't have to sell anything or take withdrawals of principal to live in retirement. But if you truly are more conservative, well, then there's a whole universe of things. There's things like bonds, which pay a fixed interest payment and are guaranteed by the issuer. There are preferreds, which are a different class of stock, but are much more bond-like in many ways. They actually state the rate of dividend they're going to pay on the stock certificate. And really, in order for them to skip a dividend or default on the income, they pretty much have to default on debt, right? Those are a couple alternatives that are much, much safer than your regular common stocks. Then you get, if you like real estate, but don't trust stocks in general, you might be okay with putting a little bit in real estate investment trusts. What's that? That's a stock of a company that owns rental property. So now, you're technically in stock, but you might feel more comfortable with the underlying investment in the company being rental property other than a corporation that's, making widgets, for example. And if you're really conservative, then that's where annuities come in. Now, annuities do have the problem we talked about before where they take income and principal, but they have an insurance policy overlapping it, which says that if you deplete all your principal, you cannot run out of income. The insurance company will still pay you income for the rest of your life. So, David, I hope that helps. Bottom line is a whole bunch of tools that you can get into to get income that in many cases will rival, if not even exceed, the income that you are likely getting from your rental property. Hope that helps.
Absolutely. And Dave, thank you so much thank you for sending in your Ask Dave question through our website. And you can send in your question. We might use it on a future show. All you have to do is go to our incomeradio.com is the website to submit it. And we've also put together a whole white paper. It's multiple page guide that talks about the universe of income generating investments. That's exclusively for our listeners. You can go and download it. Same website, incomeradio.com, and learn a little bit more about all those different instruments that Dave mentioned and ways that you can invest for income in the stocks and the bond market. You're listening to the Retirement Income Source, where it's all about the income. I'm Sarah Samuels here with David Scranton, and we are answering your questions. So if you have a question, please call in. We'd love to hear from you. That phone number again is 833-RISK-RADIO. That's 833-747-7234. All right, our next question also comes from our website here. It's from Karen in Worcester, Massachusetts. She says, I listened to the show and I've heard you talk about these income generating investments, but how do I know what's right for me and when it's time for me to invest?
All right, Sarah. Well, it depends on whether you've saved enough where you're okay to retire soon or whether you feel like you're behind the eight ball. That's a big part of it. Because if you've saved enough, you want to start making this transition to an income first, capital appreciation second mindset as much as 10 years before retirement in an ideal world. Why? Because when you retire, you want two things to be true. You want the growth things to be high, and you want interest rates to be high. Why? So that if your growth items are high, like the stock market, then when you transition to income-bearing instruments, you have more money to transition over into income-bearing instruments, but also because interest rates are high, you're getting a higher income payment from that higher sum of money. So two things have to be working in your favor. And just randomly, there's about a 25% chance at any given time that the market's going to be high and that interest rates are going to be high. So to increase your probability, you gradually start making that transition as much as 10 years before retirement. Now, if you feel like you're behind the 8 ball, you might go more into higher dividend stocks where you have an ability to still get some growth, still get some capital appreciation, but also you're still doing an income-first strategy. If you're very much behind the 8 ball, then you might get stuck rolling the dice further, where you just say, I'm going to stay in growth-first instruments, capital appreciation-first instruments, and hope for the best. But hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully you're in a situation where you're just getting a simple 5 or 6% interest or dividend payment reinvested in your accounts between now and retirement will get you to where you want to be. And if so, then you should start considering making that change as soon as possible. And I'd also say, Sarah, simply because right now, where interest rates are, I think it's important. Interest rates started coming down just a little, but they're still high enough. And they're probably going to drop more over the next year or two. And we're overdue for a stock market pullback, which could very well happen in the next couple of years. So I think you're at a perfect time right now, if you're ready to make that transition, to start looking at it seriously. I hope that helps.
And Karen, thank you so much for sending in your Ask Dave question on
Karen,
our website.
I kept saying Sarah.
Karen, I was wondering why you were saying Sarah.
Why didn't you correct me?
I didn't know if you were talking to me.
That's right. You're Sarah. She's Karen.
She's Karen, yes.
Okay.
I'm your host, Sarah.
Who am I?
Oh, you're Dave.
Okay, I get
You got
confused.
All right, we got to keep our line straight here. Karen, thank you so much for reaching out to the show. And again, if you have a question, we'd love to hear from you and answer your question on a future show. But all in all, Dave, I think when it comes down to it, there's a lot of things to be grateful for. And when we look at this list of the things that people are most grateful for, it's health, it's their family and friendships, it's time to be able to have those travel and those experiences with people. It's all linked back to income.
And being 60 years old myself, I notice on the list nowhere is the word, a better memory, because sometimes you have very little control over that at 60 and over. So sorry, Karen. Sorry to confuse you with Sarah here, but you're right. These are all things that, again, because younger people tend to be more about things and material items. And as you get older, it's about all these other things where really it just takes freedom and flexibility and confidence. And all that comes in retirement from getting real income from your investments.
The one thing I know you won't forget, Dave, is it's to do the show each week with me. And so I appreciate all of our listeners tuning in and listening to the Retirement Income Source, where it's always about your income.
And I would second that and say that even if I don't remember that you were here, which could happen for real, the most important thing is we hope that you're here with us again next week, same time, same station. Again, I'm David Scranton here with Sarah Samuels, and this is the Retirement Income Source, where it's all about your income.